Hey everybody, David here, and today I am doing a podcast by myself. This is episode... I forgot what episode this is right now. This is either episode 8 or 9. I think there was 2 weeks where there was no new podcast episode. It's because some people have different time frames and I can't really get everybody together all the time. And this week I thought, you know what, I'll just do one myself, see how that goes. And because I can't always rely on other people. I gotta understand that everybody has busy stuff to do, so why not try one by myself? And I'm the big movie lover out of anybody I would have on my podcast anyway, so it makes sense if I can continue it by myself once in a while. And, this week I thought it would be cool to talk about the new Ghostbusters movie, which is out in theaters right now, directed by Paul Feig. I did a mini review on IMDb. I mean on YouTube, sorry, IMDb. I'm on IMDb right now because I want to make sure I get certain names right and certain characters. And this is what I thought about it. I think this movie is getting a very bad rap right now. I gave the movie a 7 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, the movie is getting a critic score of 73% right now, which is actually surprisingly pretty good. You know, a lot of people were expecting this movie to get like a 2%, 8%. You know, it was going to be the Fantastic Four of this year. And shockingly, unlike Fantastic Four, this movie actually turned out to be highly entertaining, I thought. I was pleasantly surprised with it and enjoyed the movie all the way through. Yeah, there's some scenes that, like, some cameos and some references to the original film seemed a little forced. The ending gets a little bit frantic, where it gets a little bit boring at times and weird, and but for the most part, I enjoyed most of the movie all the way through. There were times where I was laughing out loud, specifically with Chris Hemsworth. I thought Chris Hemsworth as the secretary, I knew as soon as I heard about this that, you know, they were going to do the reverse effect, where in the original movie it was 4 women, and in this being the Ghostbusters, and the secretary was going to be a male now. To me, I thought that idea was hilarious. So as soon as Chris Hemsworth was cast as the secretary, I said, you know what? I'm sold. This movie could actually be really good. And I'm glad, based on that, the casting, I was right. The casting was really good. Kate McKinnon is a character that a lot of people have been divided on right now. She plays a character called Jillian Holtzman, and she's a little random once in a while throughout the movie. Some people found her to be cartoony and annoying. I found her to be funny, and there's other people that are defending Kate McKinnon too. Some people even thinking that she's one of the actresses that stole the show. I agree with that. Kate McKinnon, Chris Hemsworth, and Leslie Jones I really like too. And she was interesting because when I went to go see this movie, I was thinking to myself, man, this is... Because when I saw the trailers were awful. I should mention that first. Not hated, but I was really disappointed in the marketing of this movie because I did not laugh at any of the clips, any of the trailers. But funny enough, when you go see this movie, there are scenes that were in the trailers, but there's more context to them in the movie that you get the jokes a lot better when you're watching the film. So there were even a couple of people in the theater laughing along with us. You know, they were enjoying it just as much as we were. One kid at the end even yelled out, "Best movie ever!" And I was like, okay, kid, I wouldn't go that far, but but you know, that's what Ghostbusters is. Even the original Ghostbusters, we were all kids that enjoyed the original Ghostbusters, and this movie is just doing its job. It's bringing in a new generation of fans. And you know, Leslie Jones, as I was saying, as Patty Tolan, She was really great. Yeah, there were a lot of moments where she made me laugh. I thought she was great. I thought she was going to be the stereotypical loud African American woman, but she actually turned out to be a really solid character. All these characters, these four female Ghostbusters, were all really strong on their own right. They were very different from the original Ghostbusters. They weren't like, oh, okay, here's Peter Venkman, but as a woman, or here's Ray Stantz, but as a woman, or Ernie Hudson's character or Harold Ramis's character from the original film. Here's the version of that. Same thing with Chris Hemsworth. I thought, okay, they're probably, but I'm glad to say I was wrong. These women are very different characters from the male Ghostbusters. This definitely is what a reboot is supposed to be. Because the way I look at reboots and remakes is that a remake is something that is, you take the same exact story and the same exact characters, you're just changing it up a little bit. Like, what's a good example? Planet of the Apes could be reboot-ish. The Tim Burton ones, anyways, can be reboot-ish. The newer Planet of the Apes movies are definitely reboot, because they're not remaking the original story. They're starting from scratch, but ignoring the original films, sort of. I'm trying to think of a great idea for a remake. Like the new Jungle Book movie. That was a remake because they were telling the same story with the exact same characters. That's a remake. So this is a reboot. They're starting fresh. They're trying different things. Some things, they're borrowing things what worked in the original and are using it for their new reboot. But yeah, no, all the characters are completely different from this movie. Some of these cameos and references in this new film, some I liked, most I liked, I'll say. There was a few maybe that I could have lived without. One being the Slimer cameo. It was okay at first, but then they added a female Slimer. And yeah, I did not like the female Slimer. I don't know what the hell was up with that. And then Bill Murray's cameo. Yeah, you don't see Bill Murray's cameo in the trailers, but let me spoil it for you guys here. The cameo was him. He shows up. He has the largest cameo, I guess, because he shows up for two scenes. One, you see him on the news, and he's like this guy who doesn't believe the Ghostbusters. He's debunking them, saying whatever they're saying, they're lying about it. And the ghost. And then later, he comes up and shows up at their Chinese apartment place where they have their equipment and all that. Their new, they tease the original building that they're gonna go there and that set up shop there, but then they say, oh, we can't afford it, so they go to this abandoned Chinese restaurant, I guess, and they take up shop there. But then at the end, spoiler alert, this is a whole spoiler review, by the way, guys, I should mention that. Yeah, then at the end, they get that building. I guess just in case they come back for a sequel, now they have the original building there, which is really cool. Maybe they actually couldn't afford it, so they were like, okay, we'll tease it for the sequel. That way, if we do get a sequel, we'll be at that building, which would be nice. And, well, oh yeah, Bill Murray's cameo. So he comes later, early on in the film. And he's there, and he gets killed off because he wanted to see proof of ghosts. And I felt that Bill Murray did not want to be in this movie. I just felt that I didn't feel the energy that he should have had while in this movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it a little bit, but I felt they could have done without him. That's me. And then we have this villain in this movie, which is a antisocial nerd, I guess, kind of guy, played by Neil Casey. And there's a lot of Saturday Night Live actors in this movie. I just realized, and it works because Leslie Jones, Kate McKinnon, and Kristen Wiig are all from SNL. And if you go back and watch the original Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray were also from SNL. So it kind of is cool that they're kind of carrying tradition of using SNL actors to carry on the Ghostbusters torch. I think that's a nice little tradition because you need good, talented, funny actors for these films, and to play off of the more dramatic areas of the movie. And yeah, this villain, I didn't care much for him. I could have lived without it because I felt it was just weak. I didn't feel that, I don't really understand why he was doing what he's doing, because he was being bullied, so I'm going to release ghosts in the world? I thought it was dumb. And speaking of, I didn't like the way the ghosts were kind of represented, because he was releasing them from a world. I'm like, what? And then people didn't believe the Ghostbusters. They kind of hint at the end that, yes, there are people that are believing in the Ghostbusters, what they're doing. And they better, because there's witnesses that are seeing some of these ghosts, especially in the city. I didn't like how the government was trying to wrap things up at the end. Well, I guess, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I didn't like how the normal people looked at the ghosts. I like how it was in the original. Everybody knew that these guys were Ghostbusters. Okay, they had their doubts, the people that didn't see them, but for the most part, once they saw them, they said, okay, these Ghostbusters. This one, the government kind of yeah, but you better keep it down a little bit. We don't want ghosts frightening the people of New York because innocence, whatever. I don't know, but yeah, and what else? Chris Hemsworth, I talked about him. Yeah, he was good. There was another character. You might have seen this actor. He played the character of Benny. The actor's name is Karen Sony. He was the taxi driver in Deadpool. I don't know if you've seen Deadpool, you know who I'm talking about. And he has a small little role, not too small. He shows up for a couple of moments. He's kind of like this delivery boy who's bringing Abby Yates, played by Melissa McCarthy, her shrimp soup, I guess. And it's kind of a little running gag. I didn't feel it worked that well, but it was fine. But he has these little quirks that I kind of like, that I find humorous. So it was nice that they brought someone. What's his name? He played the mayor in this movie. I'm looking for his name right now, so bear with me, guys. Annie Potts' cameo. I didn't like Annie Potts' cameo. I thought that was kind of weak. Andy Garcia. I think that's it. Andy Garcia plays the mayor. And I'm gonna admit, I thought he was all right. I thought he was good, actually. No, yeah, I'm remembering now. Andy Garcia was really good as the mayor, and Cicely Strong was his secretary, I guess. And this is what I want to bring up. A lot of people are saying this movie is an attack on men, because men in the movie are either assholes or dumb in this movie. But Cicely Strong, who played Jennifer Lynch, which was the mayor's assistant, she was an asshole to the Ghostbusters too. And actually, Annie Potts, her cameo as the desk clerk, she was also an asshole to I think it was Kristen Wiig. She had a cameo with. She was kind of an asshole too. So it's guys, I think men and women are being represented equally in this movie. The only ones that are getting a free pass are the Ghostbusters themselves, because they're the star of the movie. So it makes sense that I see what the director was doing. He was surrounding these four women, the Ghostbusters women, with every woman and man that was playing supporting roles in the film as stupid or asshole-ish, I guess. So I think it's unfair that this is an attack on men when there's clearly other female characters in the movie that weren't kind to the Ghostbusters. So it all works out, I guess, that way. And I think people just want to find things to complain about this movie more than it actually should be. Because, okay, let's face it, this is not a perfect film. And I don't think a lot of people were expecting it to be, but to say that it is awful, like, for sure there's people out there that haven't seen the movie yet, they want to complain about it. Like, the 4.9 on IMDb right now, that's clearly because people haven't seen the movie, and they gave it a 1 without watching. Yeah, over 10,000 people gave it a 1 out of 10. And then I guess the strong supporters tried counteracting that by giving it a 10. There's only 7,000 of those. But I look at the ratings in between, because I usually think from 2 to 9 are the real ratings. Because I don't think it definitely doesn't deserve a 1, and it definitely doesn't deserve a 10. The most in between there is actually 7. 7 and 8. 8.2% of people on IMDb who have voted for Ghostbusters, I'm looking at the stats here, have given Ghostbusters either an 8 or a 7. And I was one of those people that gave it a 7. I think that's a proper score. There's some that gave it a 6 too. 6 is 5.2% of the people that voted. So I think those are the proper scores to look at. I think the people that gave it a 1, for sure, most of them. I'm sure there's people that hate the movie. I'm sure. Whether they're sexist or not, I don't think deserves to be said, because you can't say that everybody who gives the movie a 1 was sexist. You can't. And I understand because there are some people that are angry at Sony for trying to turn that towards some fans. And that I understand a little bit more. When people say, okay, they're not going to go watch the movie, even despite reviews, because of the way Sony tried to turn it. If you're one of those people, then fine, I'll give you a free pass. But I know there are people that aren't watching the movie because it's for women as the Ghostbusters, and I think that's unfair. Because they are very talented women, and I think the movie is great, fun, and I think everybody should check it out. I think there were some really jump up scare moments, not like horrific moments, but they were like jump out, like when the velociraptor in Jurassic Park, the original, when it pops out of those pipes when Dr. Sattler is turning on the power, those type of scares, 1 second scare, and then you're back to enjoying the movie. So they're fun scares, I guess, I would say. So the movie right now, the box office report is out. It could go higher tomorrow. We don't know by the end of the day. Ghostbusters right now is in second place in the box office with a $46.0 million. So from what I understood, people were expecting something along those lines, 46 or 50. And the movie itself, though, cost $144 million to make. So will it pass that? The foreign box office is not up yet, so we have to wait and see how the foreign box office looks. And if the foreign box office can help Ghostbusters, we could see a sequel. And I'm going to tell you the truth, I hope we get a sequel, because I enjoyed it, and I'd go see a second sequel. Hopefully they get a better marketing team, because it was kind of sad that this movie had terrible marketing. Terrible. And because those trailers did not do the movie justice. I felt there were a lot more clips they could have showed. A lot more people probably would have been a little bit more happier. And so now I want to talk a little bit about some movies that are coming out for the rest of the year that I am definitely planning on checking out and reviewing most of these. So let's start with this week coming up. Star Trek Beyond. Definitely, I'm hearing good things already. I think they started releasing reviews now. One review I heard, one of my favorite movie pundits, John Campia, has said the movie is really good. And I think Jason Inman, he's also appeared on Collider as well. I think he works for DC also. DC All Access. Star Trek Beyond has an 88% already. That is amazing. Well, only 22 fresh ones, 3 rotten ones. That's still really good so far. So far, so good. So if they can hold on to that momentum, I'm really excited to check out Star Trek Beyond. The first trailer didn't really do it for me, but the last 2 trailers really sold me on it. There's also Ice Age Collision Course, which I'm going to be honest, I don't really care about. And according to Rotten Tomatoes right now, it has an 18%. So, yeah. I was done with the Ice Age movie after the last one. I'm like, screw this. The first 2 were good, and then after the first one, they started slowly declining for me. So, I'm done with the Ice Age franchise. So, if kids love it, that's great. Good for them. After that, we got Jason Bourne coming out July 29th. That's probably going to be my birthday movie because my birthday is July 25th. But we have tradition in my family that we don't celebrate our birthdays until after the weekend after. And my birthday falls on a Monday and everybody's tired after work. So we will probably celebrate that Saturday or Sunday after. And Jason Bourne will probably be that movie I'll pick to go and check out that week. And then after Jason Bourne, we move into August, which my next most anticipated movie for the rest of the year, Suicide Squad, comes out. And I totally want to check out Suicide Squad. I really enjoyed Batman v Superman, thought it was a great film. And David Ayer is directing it. I loved Fury. I thought it was a great movie, and I'm really eager to check out DC's third film in their DC cinematic universe. I loved Man of Steel. I loved Batman v Superman. I liked Batman v Superman, and Suicide Squad looks like it's going to be really good. Can't wait for that. And then, also that week, we got The Founder with Michael Keaton playing the guy who founded McDonald's. And I'm going to admit, I'm kind of curious about this movie. I'm going to wait for reviews, of course, but I really want to check it out. I totally want to check it out. August 12th, we got Pete's Dragon. I'm still not 100% sold on it. The trailers haven't really sold me that well. But I'll wait for reviews on that one. One that I probably will check out for sure, because I heard a lot of people who saw it already at some festivals really enjoyed it. Sausage Party. The animated movie that's rated R. That's definitely for adults, not for kids. Looks like it's for kids, but it's not. And so that looks pretty funny, and I want to check that out. On August 19, Ben-Hur. I totally want to check out the new Ben-Hur. I'll probably wait for reviews for that one too, because sometimes these sand and saddle films or movies based off religion haven't really been that great. So I don't know. Going down the list, let's move to August, September. September, there's some movies here. Sully. I saw the trailer for Sully recently with Tom Hanks, directed by Clint Eastwood. It looks alright. I'm curious about it. I think that will be a little bit of fun. They're making Bridget Jones's Baby. I didn't even know they were making a Bridget Jones sequel. I don't know if I'll check that out, but here's a cool one. Snowden. I think that's the movie. With Joseph Gordon-Levitt, directed by Oliver Stone. NSA employee Edward Snowden leaks thousands of classified documents to the press. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is awesome. I probably will check it out, especially if reviews are good. Magnificent Seven. I haven't seen the trailer for this movie yet, even though I've heard really good things. And it has a great cast. I mean, Chris Pratt, Denzel Washington, Matt Bomer, Haley Bennett, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio, Peter Skarsgård, Vinnie Jones. I mean, Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington alone is the real reason why I want to go see this movie. Yeah, those two names alone will get me to go and see it. What else movies? We're still in September here. Other than those ones that I just mentioned, we're moving to October now, guys. So in October, Underworld Blood Wars. I don't know if I want to see that. I like the Underworld franchise, but I don't know if I want to see them in theaters. I don't think they're worth checking out in theaters. The first one would have, but the last couple, they're okay. They're okay. November. Oh, Doctor Strange. Totally want to check that one out. I love Marvel. Every film since the first Iron Man I have been checking out in theaters. Love everything that Marvel and Disney have been doing. It's a lot of fun. And Trolls comes out that week as well. Trolls, I'm not too sure about. Because I wasn't impressed by the trailer. The first trailer that came out. I was actually kind of disappointed. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them comes out November 18th. Totally looking forward to that. Moana from Disney, the Disney animated film with The Rock, comes out November 25th. That should be cool. I totally like to check that one out because Disney is on a roll right now. They're back. They're back and they're better than ever. So I'm totally looking forward to that. And then, December 16th. This might be the movie that might close the year for me if there's nothing that comes after this. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, hits December 16th. And I'm a Star Wars fan, and I totally want to check Rogue One out. I can't wait for it. I heard the trailer was shown at a Star Wars Celebration in Europe, and Darth Vader shows up at the very end of that movie. Amazing. And then December 23rd, we got Assassin's Creed. So that's really cool because the trailer for that movie looks really awesome. And then there's a comedy also with Bryan Cranston and James Franco called Why Him? Trailer didn't impress me for that one, but I don't know. I'll see. Assassin's Creed, I'm going to definitely watch on December 23rd. Let's just put it that way. And with that, guys, that's the movies I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year. Can't wait for them. I think they're going to be freaking awesome. And, hey, guys, listen to me. Check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/David Jordao. Jordao is Jordao. It's spelled very similar to Jordan, Michael Jordan, you know him. It's spelled very similar to that, just an O at the end instead of an N. And check out, I have a Facebook page where I post updates up there too. Every new video, not every, but whenever I have videos to post up that I feel are Facebook worthy, I post it up there. I post on Twitter, which is at iCrazyDavy, Davy with an EY. Some people write Davy with DAVY. I spell it DAVEY. So iCrazyDavy on Twitter. And I have a Tumblr account too, but I don't think people care too much for that one. And if you want, subscribe to my, iTunes podcast. If you're listening to this podcast, hopefully you are already subscribed. I'm on iTunes. It's David's movie and TV talk. And hopefully you guys are subscribed to me, because I'm getting somebody tweeting to me on Twitter. So it's just my phone buzzing. And with that being said, guys, take care.